Hello and welcome, Marvinauts, to the next NFT education series here. I'm so excited to be here sharing this with you guys. I hope you like the green, give a little alien feel for the first one. I figured I'd just jump on camera this time, lay out the first lesson for you. And I know some people want some things a little bit more fancy here, and see if we can get to that with the next one. I think this one I'm just going to talk to you guys for a little bit because really I just want you to understand a few fundamental things about NFTs. So let's just have a little fireside chat about it, right? I believe NFTs are going to change the world. I think they're already doing that. And this education series is designed to help you better understand this amazing technology that's coming so you can be better investors, you can be better Marvinauts, better educators for both the community and people outside the community, and really help bring Marvin and its Mars mission to reality, right? Because we all want to fly out of this galaxy, don't we, guys? Before we jump in to lesson one here, I want to talk about what we're going to be covering here. We're going to go over a little quick outline of the first four lessons here, and we're really going to start with the fundamentals. Lesson one is going to be covering some terms, some different basic principles here, and get everybody up to speed. We saw a lot of feedback from the forum that many of you are not terribly knowledgeable about NFTs, and that's totally fine. It's a pretty complicated subject, pretty new technology. So let's get you up to speed first. All right, so lesson one is going to be why NFTs are changing the world, NFTs 101. Lesson two, we're going to be jumping in art versus utility. This is something that people miss often, and I want to go over this because it's critical to understanding the value of NFTs. Lesson three, for those of you counting, finding good projects. This will be more about NFT investing. We'll look at some examples here, some real world stuff, and really show you guys like how to differentiate between good projects and bad projects, because we want you guys to know that Marvin's doing the right thing. You know, that Marvin is making some good NFTs here, and that's gonna be something worth investing in. All right, so we're gonna show you why, and we're gonna do that with some real world examples. And lesson four here is going to be the great NFT compromise, whether you should hold or whether you should flip it. You know, we always hear about diamond hand holders, and the truth is that's not always the right thing to do. We're going to get into more of that in lesson four here. After that, we'll do a check-in. We'll see where everybody's at, and I'll go on from there and figure out what the next set of lessons are going to be. In the meantime, we're going to change the structure a little bit about this. I did everything live last time. This time, I'm going to do the pre-recorded videos like this. We're going to put them up in the chat, put them on YouTube, give you guys a couple days to watch and digest the information, and then we'll have a live AMA-style Q&A call where you guys can ask more questions about that week's lesson, all right? So if I need to go into anything deeper, answer any other questions, I can do it on the call. And then if that means I have to bring out another lesson on a specific topic that I maybe didn't do a good job explaining, that you guys just need a little bit more information on, I can definitely do that from there. And of course, feedback is always helpful. Let me know what you're understanding, what you're liking, what you're not liking. I really appreciate that. So you ready? Let's dive in. First off, NFTs in one sentence. I want to give you a good quick hit here that you can take to anybody, so they understand what NFTs really are. NFTs are a way to unquestionably prove ownership of a digital or physical thing without the need for trust. Think about that for a minute. It'll be really important. And the rest of this series is going to be covering that. Now let's go a little bit deeper. NFTs in 30 seconds here. Non-fungible tokens. Something that is non-fungible means it cannot be reproduced. There is only one that ever exists. That's it. All right. NFT technology is valuable because the blockchain can show an unquestionable ledger of ownership of a thing. That technology will fundamentally change how the world works, someday. NFTs have two primary categories, art and utility. They're different, and understanding that art and utility are unique and separate with no correlation to each other is critical. A lot of people miss this, all right? There are two secondary categories. All right, you have the physical world, real life, the things around me, the things you can touch, and the digital world, what lives online. How an NFT is valued, what brings it value, changes depending on which primary and which secondary categories it exists in. Art and utility do not have the same rules for what makes that thing valuable. Keep that in your brain. It does not have the same rules. The same thing is true for digital and physical world things. And we'll get more into that in the next lesson. An NFT can be both art and utility, but can only be valued by one primary category. Do not mix this up. Do not get this crossed. It cannot be valued by both. If you feel a little lost, that's okay. It means you're in the right place. We're going to cover all that. And my goal for the end of the series is to make all this crystal clear. And my promise to you, my one promise, is that this is either going to be the best NFT education series you had, the worst, or somewhere in between. Little disclaimer before we get into it. Of course, this is not financial advice. I'm not your guru. I don't have a crystal ball that tells me the future and anything like that. Anybody telling you that they know the future is lying to you. Be very cautious. My magic 8-ball is only right some of the time, so I can't really share that. I will not be telling you which NFTs to buy, so please don't ask. I won't be telling you if you should buy any NFTs at all. That's only a decision you can make. It must be your decision. Don't let anybody else sway you into that. Only buy an NFT if you believe it's the right thing for you. Right? That's how you will be successful. Everyone says do your own research, but they never really tell you how, right? And that's the most important part, is knowing how to do your research. That's what this NFT series is all about. It's aimed at showing you how to do your own research so that you can be successful. The final disclaimer that no one wants to hear, I'm sorry, but I have to tell you this, success is 100% based on the actions you take. You can't sit here and just listen to this information and think you're going to be successful. You have to take action. You have to do your own research. You have to go deeper on this. This is a fundamental series. I'm not going to make you overnight experts. You're not going to be NFT gods by the end of this, but it is going to give you enough so that you can be an expert if you put in the work. All right. And the other thing too is success is completely different for me as it is for you. I want you to take some time, and it's going to be your homework tonight, is think about your success. Think about what success means to you. And if you feel like it, would love to see you post in the chat. All right. For me, for this education series, success will be if more people watch the final lesson than the first lesson. And bonus points, I'll know I really nailed it if some of you guys are teaching me things about NFTs by the end of this series. The unsolvable problem that humanity has is trust. It is my current belief that NFT technology is a bigger technological revolution than the internet. The internet allowed us to instantly connect with anybody in the world, but it also showed us that a lot of people suck and they're only out for their own good. And given the right circumstance, they're going to try to take advantage of anybody they can for their own benefit. Pretty much everybody knows about the Nigerian prince trying to give away his fortune, right? And as hard as it is to believe, that scam email works because people fall for it a lot and still do. That's why it still pops in your email inbox. And it's because they want to believe it's true. Whatever situation they're in, whatever hardship they're having, they want to believe so badly that someone actually wants to give them that money. And they want to believe it more than their friends, their loved ones, everybody else that they trust. That says a lot about trust in humanity, doesn't it? Think about that. But also consider this. What if there really is a Nigerian prince trying to give away his fortune? It's not likely, but it's possible. We've seen millionaires and billionaires do it before, so you never know. But let me ask you this. Why do you believe the person working at the bank who decides how much money is in your account? They're as much of a stranger as a Nigerian prince emailing you. The obvious answer is trust, right? We trust them. But where does that trust come from? Have you ever thought about that? I mean, you don't know them personally, so you don't know them any more than the Nigerian prince trying to give you their fortune. Maybe it's the fact that they have the job at the bank. Maybe that's why they deserve trust. But again, we all know somebody who has lied on their resume. Probably know a few people. And let me tell you, don't look up how many people have lied on their resume to get a job. It'll ruin your day, and it goes to the highest level. There's been executives, C-suite people who have lied on their resume and had very long careers before they got found out. So what about the systems that they put in place at the bank? Different policies and procedures to ensure that people are telling the truth and are honest and everything. Well, they all have humans involved in that. So rewind, see what I just said. But we could trust the collective whole, right? Like, there's enough good people at the bank who would stop any of these bad actors, that would ensure that bank teller is a good person, right? Well, you might remember a few years back that Bank of America was exposed for creating thousands of fake accounts that cost their customers a lot of money. And what's worse is that the institution was set up for this thing to happen. They unknowingly encouraged this behavior. They tied bonus structures, comp plans, different things like that to how many accounts that were open. So people at the lowest level, they opened up a few accounts. The managers, their bonuses were tied to that, so they let it slide. The mid-level managers, same thing. So no one said anything, and thousands of fraudulent accounts were opened. So they kind of proved that they deserve as much trust as this Nigerian prince, right? So why do we put so much trust into them? Like, why do we still use these banking systems? And the sad truth is, it's the best we've got, right? To be clear, this isn't a knock against humanity. This isn't a knock against people. I think we're all trying our best. I think we're all doing the best we can. And just some systems are set up to be okay with fraud. And the internet has accelerated that. We weren't set up to interact with so many people. Our brains don't know how to trust or decide if we should trust people because we spent most of our history as humans in small tribes of 50, 100, 150 people where you knew that person your entire life and knew you could trust them. And that's why NFTs and the blockchains are going to change the future, someday. For this series, I want you to focus on the technology over JPEGs. Why would I ever buy an NFT when I could just take a screenshot or I could save the file, right? I'm sure we've all had a non-native crypto person tell us that thing when we talk about NFTs. You hear it all the time. Up until now, it was almost impossible to prove who owned an original piece of digital art or who even the creator was. So proving ownership of a JPEG was impossible. It was an impossible problem to solve. So the fact that NFTs so quickly and easily solve that is absolutely incredible, guys. Like, even if you don't care about JPEGs at all or art in that way, just think about the simple fact it could prove who created this digital piece of art. That is amazing. But JPEGs are just a proof of concept. It's not the goal, right? NFTs are going way beyond art. And digital art will become more popular as virtual reality and the metaverse becomes a bigger part of our lives. Don't get me wrong. But it will also come less of what NFTs are about. And said another way, I don't believe most art-focused NFT projects that exist today will be worth anything. Sorry, but it's true. What will change is how we interact with the world is the idea of trustless ownership that NFTs bring. All right. We will no longer have to rely on fallible human brains to know that our bank account is accurate. We won't have to worry if that employee actually graduated from the university on their resume, has all the certifications and skills listed on their resume. NFTs will bring a level of trust throughout society we haven't experienced since living in small tribes. This is incredible, guys. Now that nearly everyone has a video camera in their pocket, we see examples every day of how trust is misused and exploited. NFTs will not solve all the atrocities humans create, but will fix many of them and give society a stronger foundation to evolve. So what does all this have to do with buying NFTs and making money? Everything. Mainly, it's the lens in which I want you to start looking at NFT projects when you're doing your own research. Consider how this project helps or could help NFT and blockchain technology move closer to solving our collective trust issues, because that's what it's all about. Ownership and trust. If you look through that lens, it's going to make sussing out these projects much easier. It's going to help you see through the garbage much better. It's going to help you understand why so many of these projects were really hyped up, blew up with a floor price, and then almost as quickly crashed with so many people left holding the bag and their creators running around with millions of dollars. And if looking through this lens seems a bit blurry, that's okay. If I'm successful at the end of this series, it should be crystal clear. So, how should we look at the technology, right? I'm not talking about becoming a developer. I'm not talking about becoming an expert in smart contracts. You do not need that. You don't have to know anything about code to understand NFT technology. As far as code goes, the main thing you need to understand is that NFTs cannot be duplicated. As you progress in your education, yeah, it would be helpful to understand smart contracts a little bit, but don't worry about that right now. Get a friend that's a developer, ask them some questions if you need to, but for the most part, you can stay away from that, unless you're a developer. If you love that stuff, by all means, jump in. We'd love to hear more from you. My knowledge, not in coding, not in development, so I'm not really going to be touching on there. So if anybody else wants to put a lesson in, let's see it. The way you should be looking at the technology is how a project is using it to solve important real-world problems. It has to make sense at that level first before it's worth even diving into whether it's a possible problem to solve, right? For example, a project that is trying to solve the resume issue and verifying ownership, verifying university degrees, verifying that you actually took different professional certifications that you said you took. Those are NFT level problems. Look for those kind of things, or look for technology that's moving us closer to that. And again, we'll get more into that in lesson 3. I'm going to show you some examples of those projects. Because here's the thing, technology is constantly evolving. And even if it doesn't exist now, it's very likely it will soon. Just look how far cell phones have progressed in the last decade. And things are progressing even quicker and quicker and quicker. So like I said, find a developer friend, unless you're super passionate about coding, and you know a lot about coding, NFTs, smart contracts, things like that, then let me know. Let's get you on for a lesson, because we'd love to give that to the community. To wrap things up, since we're coming up on that 20-minute mark here, I want to let you know what the series is and what the series is not. Most importantly, this education series is a practical guide. By the end of this, you're going to know what to do. You're not going to be an expert at it. You're still going to have to do your own research. Still going to be some learning to do, but you're going to know what to do. You're not going to feel lost in any NFT conversation anymore. I want you to be sharing your insights along the way. I want you to let us know what's going on, what you're thinking about, what you're seeing. Bring that to the group. Let's have a conversation about this. Let's have a good conversation about NFTs. Like I said, I want you guys to be sharing stuff with me by the end. I want you to be teaching me stuff by the end. That would be so cool. All right. This series will not teach you how to get rich. Like I said, only your actions will get you rich. And that can't be taught. You just got to take action. You got to do your own research. You got to go deeper on this stuff. It can't be given to you. So take relentless action, learn everything you can, and then you'll get rich. But hopefully this inspires you. Hopefully this inspires you to take those next steps and do those next things. Now, the series will also not teach you which NFT projects to invest in. All right, we're going to be looking back at successful projects and unsuccessful projects to see what they did right and what they did wrong, so that you can look ahead. Remember, I don't have a crystal ball. My magic 8 ball is only right a couple times, so I'm not going to be sharing that insight with you. I don't know, right? No one else knows. It's all speculative. Everything could go to zero tomorrow if regulations get put in place. Like, we don't know. But the series will teach you how to protect yourself, how to make better choices, and make sure that that downside risk is as small as possible. And lastly, this series is not about the Marvin project specifically. When we have updates, when we have things happening, I'll let you know, all right? But I'm not going to be talking specifically about Marvin. Like I said, this is supposed to make you guys better NFT investors so you understand why the Marvin NFTs are going to be awesome and how to spot bad NFTs so you can bring people into the Marvin community, teach them, educate them, show that the Marvinauts are the best and smartest community in crypto. All right, so I hope you guys are ready for lesson 2. We're going to be talking all about understanding value, the difference between art and utility. I'm so excited for this because it's something that most people get wrong, don't understand, and it's going to blow your mind.